So if this show was rerun in 2025, I think it'd do very well because its importance in the early 1980s can be felt in 2025. So today we're going to talk about V. Now, the original release of the movie was a two-part miniseries on May 1st and 2nd, 83, which was followed by a mini-series and, of course, the weekly series that didn't do as well because basically the momentum from the initial telemovie or miniseries and the series miniseries faded out. This two-part American sci-fi TV miniseries was written and directed by Kenneth Johnson. Its debut on NBC in '83 initiated a science fiction franchise concerning reptilian aliens known as the Visitors trying to gain control of Earth and of the reaction by the human populace. A race of aliens arrives on Earth in a fleet of 50 huge saucer-shaped motherships which hover over major cities across the world. They reveal themselves on the roof of the United Nations building in New York City. They appear human but require special glasses to protect their eyes, and they have a distinctive resonance to their voices. Referred to as the Visitors, they reach out in friendship, ostensibly seeking the help of humans to obtain chemicals and minerals needed to aid their ailing world, which is revealed to be a planet orbiting the star Sirius. In return, the Visitors promise to share advanced technology with humanity. The governments on Earth accept the arrangement, and the Visitors, commanded by their leader John, his deputy Diana, began to gain considerable influence with human authorities. But then strange events began to occur. Scientists in particular become the objects of increasing media and public hostility. They experience government restrictions on their activities and movements. Others, particularly those keen on examining the Visitors more closely, begin to disappear or discredit it. Holocaust reference, of course. Noted scientists confess to subversive activities. Some of them exhibit other unusual behaviors, such as suddenly demonstrating hand preference opposite the one they were known to have. Now, TV journalist Cameron Michael Donovan, played by the great Mark Singer, covertly boards one of the motherships of the Visitors. Donovan discovers their human-like facade of a thin, synthetic skin and human eye contact lenses, and that the aliens are carnivorous reptilian humanoids with horned foreheads and green, scaly skin. He witnesses them eating whole live animals such as rodents and birds, and this is what drew a lot of freak out back in the day. It was a very good scene for the time. Donovan, who first took footage on one of the alien ships fly overhead while on duty in El Salvador, records some of these findings on videotape and escapes from mothership with the evidence. However, just as the expose is about to air on TV, the broadcast is interrupted by the Visitors, who have taken control of the media. Their announcement makes Donovan and his close friend assistant Tony fugitives, pursued by both the police and the Visitors. Now, when scientists around the world continue to be persecuted, both to discredit them as the part of the human population most likely to discover the Visitors' secrets, and to distract the rest of the population with a scapegoat to whom they can attribute their fears. Key human individuals subject to Diana's special mind control process called conversion, which turns them into Visitors' pawns, leaving only subtle behavioral clues as manipulation. Others become subjects of Diane's horrifying biological experiments. So you got aspects of the Holocaust, aspects of, invasion of the body snatchers. Now, some humans, including Donovan's mother, Eleanor Dupre, willingly collaborate with the Visitors, seduced by their power. Daniel Bernstein, the grandson of a Jewish Holocaust survivor, joins the Visitor youth and reveals the location of a scientist's family, his neighbors the Maxwells, to the alien cause. One teenager, Robin Maxwell, the daughter of a well-known scientist who went into hiding, is seduced by a male visitor named Brian, who gets her pregnant as one of Diana's medical experiments. Yes, that seemed to be believed. Now, a resistant movement is then formed, determined to expose and oppose the Visitors. The LA cell leader is Julie Parrish, a biologist. Donovan later joins the group, and again sneaking aboard a mothership in search of Tony, who was captured. He learns from a visitor named Martin that the story about the Visitors needing waste chemicals is a cover for a darker mission. The true purpose of the Visitors is to conquer and subdue the planet, steal all of the Earth's water, and harness the human race as food, leaving only a few as slaves and cannon fodder for the Visitors' wars with other alien races. Martin is one of many dissidents among the Visitors, later known as the Fifth Column, who oppose their leader's plans and would rather coexist peacefully with the humans. Martin then reveals to Donovan that Tony is dead, a victim of Diana's monstrous experiments. Afterwards, he befriends Donovan and promises to aid the resistance. He gives Donovan access to one of their sky fighter ships, which he quickly learns how to pilot. He escapes from the mothership along with Robin and another prisoner named Sancho, who had aided Robin's family in their flight out of occupied L.A. The resistance strikes its first blows against visitors, procuring laboratory equipment and modern military weapons from National Guard armories to carry on the fight. The symbol of resistance is the blood letter V for victory, spray painted over posters promoting visitor friendship among humans. The symbol was inspired by Daniel Bernstein's grandfather Abraham, a Holocaust survivor. The miniseries ends with the visitors now virtually controlling the Earth, and Julie and Elias sending a transmission to space to ask other alien races for help in defeating the occupiers. Now, V was inspired by Sinclair Lewis's anti-fascist novel It Can Happen Here, which came out in 1935. Producer Kenneth Johnson wrote an adaptation titled Storm Warnings in 1982. The script was presented to NBC for production as a TV miniseries, but NBC executives rejected it as too cerebral for the average American viewer. Now, the production itself cost US $13 million, equivalent to $41 million in 2024. Production schedule was tight to be ready for broadcast through the May 83 sweeps. Now, of course, production was halted for 2 weeks when bad news about Dominic Dunn, the 23-year-old actress originally cast to play a Robin Maxwell, was unfortunately murdered outside her apartment by her ex-boyfriend while rehearsing with actor David Packer. Some scenes were rehearsed still in the original series, but only the back of her head. Blair Tefkin was hired to play Robin after her death. Johnson subsequently dedicated the series to her memory. Now, the rating success of V spawned a sequel, V: The Final Battle. Now, there's also been novelizations and sequels. Now, V premiered on Sunday, May 1st, 1983, with Part 2 being broadcast the next evening on May 2nd. The two-part miniseries was broadcast a length of 200 minutes. The first part became the second most popular program of the week, with 40% of the viewing audience. Now, it was re-released as V, the original miniseries, on VHS during the mid-90s in 4:3 full-screen format as originally broadcast. It was re-released on DVD in 2001 in a matted 16:9 widescreen format. The miniseries was originally filmed in open matte format, with director Kenneth Johnson stating he had also composed the picture to be more or less widescreen safe in the event that it got an overseas theatrical release, which it did not. It was eventually released on Blu-ray on August 27, 2019. Now, the reboot by ABC and the 2010s, might as well ignore it, although my good friend Derek Hamilton played a part. The movie itself, what I call it, the movie, the miniseries, shocked a lot of people because we're so used to Stephen King adaptations that this had sort of like a Stephen King overlay to it. Now, it's the most, I don't know, underrated is the term. People just don't remember it. I remember it greatly, like the one where Jane Badler's character is eating the rat. That's pretty freaky. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a chance, if you can find it, you probably have to pay for it on streaming. But if anybody out there knows if there's any free versions of the V miniseries out there, let us know. Like I said, it really stands out. This came after Buck Rogers' Battlestar Galactica, so it was keeping that great science fiction era of the late 70s, early 80s going. And probably it's the closest thing you're going to find to like certain key characters get murdered in the show or killed. Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund is one of them. So you watch every week, you didn't know if one of the main characters was going to die or not. So it had that soap opera meet science fiction motif. And like I said, it is the most, what he called forgotten, if that's the term, if that's even possible. But people that were born in, 1990, don't, when you say V, people think V for victory, like, Winston Churchill, but for a certain generation, you say V, watch for the lizards, as we say. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing, we're our TV Ventures podcast. Let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.